Nothing for me is more clear than to do what I must do. For I must not fail to firmly entreat and effectively persuade my fellow townsmen to act to restore the honor and dignity which living in a once proud town should itself direct them to do. I must step to them. I must get them to get their attention and make my intention clear, to insist, demand, and compel this town to step out of its dark shadow, the long dread arm of a bad, bad president who would not just live his life of poor choices, he would also take us down with him into the garbage dump of history. This president has made killing fields of many countries across the sea, not for noble or good reasons, but for money and for raw murderous power. I see this, I know this, I understand this. I will not allow the stain of blood to cover us here, or to let the smell of that blood reduce us to weak people. It is up to us facing this moral blight upon our town's character, to paraphrase Lincoln, to dare to step outside our accustomed pattern and to dare to be the Americans we were born to be. I only have a few words here in the long history of our town, just a few minutes here in front of our town's doors. I only have a rather small U.S. Senate campaign that will not attract attention for very long in the imagination of Maine's voters. But if I can remind my own town of its great purpose and its great role, which it can take right now, to be a town which shows its soul, bears its brave chest, and steps out of lack sink to fight for the town character which it can defend, to stand for those who would be thankful to us here today delivering this resolution, to remember that we are the type of town which harbors greatness of character, then we will not be persuaded or intimidated. We will stand upon the honor of those throughout the ages. We will say that we repudiate lawlessness. We will call for this chance, this vote, to declare to the rest of the country and its weak leaders to do right by us, and God defend us if they will not act to keep crime from our doors and keep crime away from our families and keep crime from our streets and our towns. By God, we will rise up ourselves in the powers vested to us and put those laws ourselves into the law book of our town. And we will instruct our defending authorities to protect us as we are lawfully able to require them to do. So I will, declare and provide the means shown in law for us to begin to undertake this mighty effort. I do this so that we may keep our town not just drug-free, but also crime-free, to show that we may and we must take criminals out of our town's lines where they may do their dirty work elsewhere, but at least not here, not under our noses. We will say no also to their buddies who would come to hang out here with them. No, 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 and again I say no. We have a better answer to war crime. Our answer is this: not under our roofs, not in our harbors, not here, not now, not ever. Thanks, but we will take a pass, legally. The flag of our country is flying upside down. It is upside down in every town in America. We are in national distress. It is my aim to set it right, to call a crime, and to get the right vehicle, legally, to drive the criminals out from our town. At least here, we can fly our flag right side up, by showing that we do not tolerate crime, and we do not abide war criminals in Kennebunkport. Thank you very much.
So you're saying that the Bushes should not...
We will take questions later. Lori's going to read.
We don't have time for later. I mean, we're under deadlines that they're not on.
Want to answer a few questions?
I'd be happy to.
I just wanted to know if you planned on taking this to town council so that you yourself have it on public record during some open forum, because there's no guarantee that they're going to put it on the agenda for you.
Right. So what we're going to do next, after having delivered it to all of them so they can consider it and think it through and discuss it with the town lawyer, is that we are going to present this in a select board meeting, a selectmen's meeting. And we will, as a matter of courtesy, make the town aware of that and also do it in public. It is televised, and we'll make sure to do this in a publicized, pre-publicized way.
And you want this voted on at town meeting in June? Is that the plan?
It will go for the town meeting in June, and it will require some petitions to be done, and we will do that.
This is obviously very important to you to continue this forward. Will you continue? I mean, will you keep going with this if they decide they won't do anything in June? What will you do then? What is your planned agenda?
My plan is between now and then to do everything I can to make sure that the town understands what it needs to do, what the implications are, as I understand them. And it's up to them to decide whether I have a legitimate cause to bring forward to them, and I think I can make that case very, very competently, and I intend to do that to the best that I can, and to use my position as a U.S. Senate candidate, Maine's independent U.S. Senate candidate, to do so. I think that it's important for people running for office to decide what the best principles are that they should run under, and to do it as faithfully as they can.
Will you include continuous violation of the Constitution by these two public officials? Will you include, besides war criminals, they continuously violate the Constitution and subvert the Constitution? They're trying to make it obsolete.
Okay.
Are you going to address that in your complaint?
We will address everything we need to make the compelling argument to do this, to charge these war criminals, as I believe they are, for the crimes that I think they should be prosecuted for. Now let me read this and then I'll answer your question. Shall the Kennebunkport Board of Selectmen instruct the town attorney to draft indictments against President Bush and Vice President Cheney for crimes against our Constitution and publish said indictments for consideration by other authorities? And shall it be the law of the town of Kennebunkport that the Kennebunkport Police, pursuant to the above-mentioned indictments, arrest and detain George W. Bush and Richard Cheney in Kennebunkport if they are not duly impeached, and prosecute or extradite them to other authorities that may reasonably contend to prosecute them?
In terms of arresting President Bush or Vice President Cheney, this would be done by the Kennebunkport Police?
Here's what the process would be. Okay, here is the justification, the universal jurisdiction to apply international criminal law in Kennebunkport. This is as follows. Some object to the exercise of jurisdiction by the town of Kennebunkport to prosecute the alleged war criminals Bush and Cheney. The answer to this question was best given by Chief Counsel of the Government of the United States of America, Mr. Justice Robert H. Jackson, who stepped down temporarily as Judge of the United States to represent the United States before the Nuremberg Tribunal. Justice Jackson categorically declared that if certain acts of violation of treaties are crimes, they are crimes whether the United States does them or whether Germany does them, and we are not prepared to lay down a rule of criminal conduct against others which we would not be willing to have invoked against us. This was Justice Jackson, lead prosecutor for the United States at the Nuremberg trials. In answer to your question,
the Kennebunkport Police would actually try to arrest Bush and Cheney. The Secret Service wouldn't allow that, I'm sure.
I think that this country's had enough of ideas that say we can't, we mustn't, we shouldn't, we daren't, we should not even think that. I think that the time has come to dare to think that, to dare to try that, and to dare to do that. And I am standing here saying that we can dare to do this, and these other people that are here believe that that is so.
Aren't you afraid that this could result
I'm not afraid. I'm not
bloodshed?
afraid. I'm tired of being afraid, and I won't be afraid.
Okay.
And I shouldn't think that we should all be afraid as a matter of our American policy. I think we're better than that. Thank you very much.
I mean, I think the reality is we're moving into the next phase, and a lot of people have said, oh, well, we could do this, we could do that. But what could we do really? Well, yeah, you could indict him, because that is the appropriate thing. That's what I want to do, is sort of say, look, impeachment's fine, but if indictment is the necessary action, then indictment's what we're going to do. And that's just it. You know, we don't need to beat around the bush. And impeachment apparently is not the level of address that people want anyway. I don't think it's galvanizing people enough, because I think what impeachment implies this months-long process, and you've got a Ken Starr, and you've got a dress, and you've got Monica Lewinsky, and you've got Linda Tripp, and it's like, oh my God, spare me, right? Bill Clinton, Indictment of Bush is altogether different. This is like, you did war crimes that you pay, and we're the ones that are going to ask this and demand this. And I like that, because enough people say that it wipes the question of impeachment off the table. And it can go off the table if you got indictment on the table. That's what I like about it. The heck with Nancy Pelosi, She can't take indictment off the table, because it's not her table.